watching SNN, the Suncoast News Network. This is SNN Morning Edition.
All eyes on Hurricane Matthew this morning as it hovers off the coast. The storm now a Cat 3 and winding up to deal a devastating blow to Florida. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kathy Leone. Matthew is our top story this hour. And while we are faring somewhat well on the west coast, it's the east coast that's still bracing for the worst. Meteorologist Marco Lamano here now with more on all of that. Good morning, Marco.
Hey, good morning, Kathy, and good morning to all of you. So let's take a look at where Matthew is right now. First of all, here we are. Here's Tampa, St. Pete, Suncoast to the south, having some showers pushing into the area, just a few isolated showers. Nothing big. Even if you encounter rain, it's not a huge deal. The most dangerous winds, heaviest rain are to the northeast. Very clear to see the center of circulation here. Here's your eye of the hurricane. Here's your eye wall with the strongest winds, the major hurricane force winds, the heaviest rain. Moving to the northwest, excuse me. So now a lot of the heaviest rain is north of Melbourne. However, they're still getting some high winds, and now this is moving straight toward Daytona, so the winds are only going to get stronger from here for them. We were just showing you Daytona a second ago. So this will continue its move, but you're noticing its size. We're still going to have plenty of cloud cover from this and some rain. And while it will be windier, you know, we have winds 15, 20, 25 miles per hour. Nothing scary, folks. Nothing scary. Warm this morning, full forecast is straight ahead. Carl?
Good morning. Now, as we check out the situations on the road at this hour, things are in pretty good shape for you at this hour. What we're finding is an accident northbound about the 210. So, once I give you a heads up on that, heading to the airport, I think you're going to be in pretty good shape. Basically, the I-75 corridor, except for that one little fender bender there, is in great shape. No problems up around the bridges. Little windy on the Skyway this morning, but all lanes are open. Keep it safe. I'm Carl Hagan with traffic on SNN.
From Florida to the Carolinas, officials are warning people to get to safety as a huge and menacing Hurricane Matthew churns along the East Coast. The storm has already been blamed for the deaths of hundreds of people in the Caribbean. Diane Gallagher joins us now from Jacksonville. Diane.
Yeah, the rain and winds already starting to come in here in Jacksonville, and we're still several hours away from the hurricane actually coming up to this area. Much of the Florida coastline feeling the impact of this storm already. And at this point, hundreds of thousands of people have evacuated. But because the storm is upon us right now, authorities here are saying that if you have not left town, that's it. You're staying here. You need to hunker down and ride out this storm. The massive storm moving up Florida's east coast, bringing with it heavy rain and more than 100-mile-per-hour winds.
It's here. It's absolutely here.
Officials saying the effects of Matthew will be unlike any hurricane in decades, and that some places may become, quote, uninhabitable for weeks or months.
We're already starting to see the impacts, and it's a monster. Again, our number one priority is protecting every life in this state.
Power lines are down across the state, hundreds of thousands without power, but despite repeated calls to evacuate and predictions of a devastating storm surge.
11 feet of storm surge. So in your house, if you're close, you could have the storm surge and waves over your roof.
Some people say they are staying put.
We're all scared. We all think that we're going to be okay, but nobody knows.
Well, I've been through all the storms here growing up, so this is just another one.
Yeah, this is not just another storm. Winds recorded at Port and Cape Canaveral of 115 miles per hour. And again, this storm still about 5 miles off the coast of Florida at this point. One of Jacksonville's nicknamed the Bridge City. They are already talking about having to shut down bridges because of the winds of this storm. Again, if you're in town in Florida, you can't leave and you're going to be forced to ride out this storm. Reporting in Jacksonville, I'm Diane Gallagher. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Diane. Well, Manatee County issued a state of emergency for Hurricane Matthew and closed all district schools today. Manatee County officials also opened 3 public shelters and 1 special needs shelter yesterday afternoon because of the potential impact from Hurricane Matthew and what it would possibly or could possibly do to manufactured and mobile home residents. Now, the 3 public shelters include Manatee High School in Bradenton, Virgil Mills Elementary in Palmetto. Both of those are pet friendly, and Myakka Elementary in Myakka City also open as a shelter. Nolan Middle School is open as a special needs shelter, and again, All Manatee County schools closed today, as well as all extracurricular activities canceled. Manatee Clerk of Court's office and Manatee Courts will be closed as well, but there are no plans to close county government offices. Any Manatee County residents with questions about the storm or local conditions can call the Manatee Citizens Information Center. That number, 941-748-4501. As for Sarasota and Charlotte, both counties have declared local states of emergency, and both Sarasota and Charlotte County have opened host shelters only for evacuees from Florida's East Coast. Now, you just heard Diane Gallagher say just a few minutes ago, though, if you haven't left already the East Coast, not to do so, to stay put. But those shelters that are open as host shelters in our area are at the Inglewood Sports Complex and another at the Harold Avenue Park Recreation Center in Port Charlotte. And as for schools, both Sarasota and Charlotte County Public Schools are scheduled to be open today, but all extracurricular activities have been canceled. That's including athletic events, both home and away. And just another note here, Out of Door Academy in Sarasota has closed both campuses today, the only school that we know of in Sarasota. All right, hurricane victims in Haiti started cleaning up after Hurricane Matthew flattened entire neighborhoods and killed hundreds there. Video shot from the air shows the storm leveled parts of southwest Haiti, leaving countless thousands homeless. Residents have started to try to pick up the pieces of their lives, but the death toll continued to rise yesterday as floodwaters subsided and additional bodies were found. An Interior Ministry official said at least 283 people died in just one part of Haiti's southwest. Local officials placed Haiti's overall death toll at about 339. A missionary worker who in Haiti said an orphanage that housed 133 children was completely destroyed. An additional 4 people were killed in the Dominican Republic, which borders Haiti to the east. Now, a local agency wants to help in Haiti. Agape Flights in Venice is preparing to bring disaster relief supplies there this weekend. SNN's Jason Raven has a closer look.
Tarps, food, and generators. Agape Flight volunteers are waiting to bring these disaster relief supplies to Haiti just days after Matthew made landfall. Here are some of the images of areas of the nation that have been devastated. Volunteer Aaron B. Singh says they are delivering more than just tangible items.
It brings hope. It brings hope to those who are affected.
Agape Flights is a nonprofit Christian aviation ministry. They usually deliver mail and cargo supplies to missionaries in countries like the Bahamas, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. But their main focus at the moment is helping those affected by the storm.
We've had to cancel this week's flight just due to Hurricane Matthew's path anyway. And so in lieu of that, we're collecting those supplies and planning to fly those supplies just as soon as the weather permits us to take off.
B. Singh says they are in a race against time.
As time goes by, there's contaminated water, there'll be illnesses, that sort of thing. So it's really good to try to get in the early stages and try to prevent some of that.
The name Agape comes from the Greek word for love.
We've been doing this for over 35 years. Agape started in 1980, and so we have a good network of folks that it's not that they're coming in for relief effort. They've been there. They're there. This is their life.
The organization might stay in Haiti to shuttle supplies through the air after many roads and bridges have been washed out.
We know that it's getting into the right hands, and then they will in turn then minister to the people who need it the most.
Agape Flights hope to receive the okay for takeoff on Saturday. Reporting in Venice, Jason Raven, SNN, the Suncoast News Network.
To donate to Agape Flights and for more information, you can go to the link on our website, snnTV.com. And up next right here on the Morning Edition, a sneak peek at the BMX Supercross World Cup this weekend on the Suncoast. Plus, yesterday was United Way's annual Day of Caring. We'll show you how local volunteers gave back to their communities. So stick around. You're watching SNN.
You're watching SNN Morning Edition with Kathy Leone and meteorologist Marco Lamano. This is SNN, the Suncoast News Network.
An arrest warrant is out for an 18-year-old wanted for murder. Manatee deputies have obtained an arrest warrant for Daquan Levante Gaskin, who's accused of second-degree murder in the fatal shooting of Alexander Anderson on October 2nd. The sheriff's office says Gaskin is 5'10" with a thin build, short hair, and a pierced nose. Anyone with information about his whereabouts is asked to contact the sheriff's office 747-3011 or Crime Stoppers. An update now to an early morning crash we told you about first this past weekend. According to the Sarasota Police Department, the pedestrian that was injured in that crash has died. It happened at the corner of Shade Avenue and Aspinwall Street. The Sarasota Police Department says a woman was struck by a car just before 6 a.m. Responders transported her to Sarasota Memorial Hospital in critical condition, and she died later on Sunday. An investigation is still underway. We will keep you posted. Well, Miami International Airport ceased operations by noon yesterday due to Hurricane Matthew. Officials say about 2,800 flights were canceled. Miami serves as a major hub for American Airlines, Southwest, and JetBlue. Officials expect the number of impacted flights across the state to increase depending on the hurricane's path. They say the hurricane has prompted airlines to offer travel waivers to passengers scheduled to fly from airports impacted by the storm. Orlando International stopped commercial flights after 8 p.m. last night. And by the way, Walt Disney World theme parks, water parks, Disney Springs, miniature golf courses, and ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex are all closed today as well.
Probably a good move.
Yeah, and back to those flights, though, if you're heading out anywhere, I'm sure if you're flying out of anywhere, check today, because this whole eastern seaboard being impacted by the storm is definitely going to have this ripple effect.
Yeah, like Jacksonville Beach, I think we have some video of that we can share showing some of those waves and really picking up over there. And look how dark it is. It's really that dark kind of foreboding kind of look to it. And again, this is the East Coast. This is Jacksonville. We were showing you Daytona earlier. We were not getting those effects whatsoever here, but definitely some.
What do you think those wave heights are right now?
I can't tell from the video. You know what I'm actually looking at? And maybe you were thinking the same thing. I know these people just zoomed in the camera, but that pier.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
How that'll fare.
It's interesting. Governor Scott, I remember him, we took him live yesterday during one of his many updates, and he specifically said early in the morning, no, please, no surfing. Like he would have to say that to anybody. But yeah, there's those fanatics who live for waves, like not quite like that, but before a storm comes. And yeah, just
with the
not a good idea
storm,
before or right after.
Yeah, with the proximity of the storm, you're on the East Coast, you do not want to surf in that.
I
kind of understand the West Coast at least, where you exercise caution here, but we're not getting the hurricane force winds. So I get that.
Yeah.
And surf and seas are going to be high, but on the East Coast, to me, it's just unacceptable to be doing that.
Yeah, stay in until it's all gone. So yeah.
We will give you the latest on Matthew, and we're going to tell you why our weather is going to improve tenfold coming soon to a Florida near you. We'll see you soon.
Weatherverse with meteorologist Marco Lamano.
Hey everyone, welcome back and a happy Friday to you. We finally made it to the end of what's been kind of a hectic week. At the moment, we're just seeing a few showers in the area, mostly in Hardee County. Had a couple showers in DeSoto, a few moved through Charlotte. Looks drier temporarily in Sarasota and Manatee, but we do have some light showers about to move in. None of this rainfall is substantial in our area, so don't freak. You're not going to encounter these big downpours in the morning. Biggest concern will be the wind this morning. We're seeing winds up to 20, 25 miles per hour with gusts up to 35. That'll be the major concern as you're driving around. But as far as rain goes, it's all in the northeast with Hurricane Matthew, a Cat 3 storm, powerful storm. Fortunately, not a Cat 4, which it looked like it could have been yesterday. It's moving to the northwest. Here's your eye. Here's the eye wall where the strongest winds are. It's moving to the northwest. I keep wanting to say northeast, like I'm combining two directions. It's moving northwest. I'm going to get this out into Daytona. So winds are going to increase from here. So if you have any friends, family in Daytona, the worst is yet to come there. And I don't like hyping things up like that, but I have Cat 3 winds. It's hard to say anything else besides very damaging winds are coming that way. In our case, this storm is so big that we're going to get cloudy skies for most of the day and some rainfall as well, 60% chance for rain. Due to the abundant cloud cover, temperatures will be kept way down today. And as this moves to the north, since it's tracked a bit further east, thankfully, it does look like some of the less damaging winds will stay off the coast. tropical storm force winds extending into Gainesville perhaps. But the major hurricane force winds will be right along the coast. If this wobbles a bit to the west, then of course it'll extend further inland. But the storm since yesterday has gone a little more to the east, which has been fantastic. Looks like it'll hug the coast and then it's going to make a U-turn. It's going to do one of those loops that some hurricanes do. It's too early to say whether it'll loop to Florida or south of Florida or Cuba, just too early to say, but it doesn't look like it's going to be impressive as a storm. So good news there. We'll be talking about it, but not to the same extent that we have been because it's not going to be a powerful storm next week. What we are going to see, very dry air coming in behind this system, which means once it's out, sunshine, cooler temperatures, lower humidity, and you know what? We deserve it, gosh darn it. Carl?
Good morning. As you get ready to head out the door, let's check it out. There was some earlier activity. They're still out there. Northbound at 75 area, about the 210, had some debris in the road from it as well. But everything else I'm noting it's actually coming in good. We have a Skyway Bridge wide open, just a tad breezy there. Some slickness on some roads this morning from the showers passing through the area. But at least right now all lanes are open. 41's looking good. Lockwood Ridge all coming in nicely done. Carl Hagan, traffic on SNN.
Major buzz around the BMX Supercross World Cup this weekend in Sarasota. Trevor DeGroat takes a closer look in this morning's sports.
Home Team Sports with Sports Director Trevor DeGroat.
The buzz around the BMX Supercross World Cup is increasing as we inch closer to the weekend, and the competitors are eager to put on a show and finish off their season with a bang. Thursday was media day at the Sarasota BMX track. A couple American racers were on hand getting to practice on the Olympic-style course, both determined to end up on the podium. Men's world #1 and current standings leader Corbin Shara hopes to clinch his first world championship title this Sunday. He's focused on having a relaxed mindset, while the speedy Brooke Crane is trying to shake off a couple underwhelming performances to notch her first win and stay in contention on the women's side.
Definitely accomplished some goals and luckily sit in first place in the overall standings, and just coming in with a nice steady mindset and looking forward to getting ready to race here and try to put a little bit of the title thing on the back burner and just look forward to having another race and giving it all I got.
It seems to be fun to me. I'm not very fond of it. Let's put it that way. I got 4th in Rio, 4th last weekend, 4th in the standings. It's been frustrating to say the least, but I'm not giving up. I'm very determined to win, and I'm hoping that comes this weekend.
One man who won't be competing is BMX Olympic gold medalist Connor Fields. He's recuperating from a broken wrist he suffered in Rio. But the 2013 BMX Supercross champ is in town taking in the festivities. Fields has been in Corbin's spot, entering the final weekend, holding first place. He says while the goal of winning doesn't change, being self-aware of the standings can affect race strategy.
You know, I've been in that position before, going into the final race in that position, and it's hard. You know, it takes a lot of mental toughness. You do have to ride a little bit different and just aware of the situation. But overall, I don't really think it's going to affect much of the racing, other than maybe with 1 or 2 athletes.
That's all for SNN Home Team Morning Sports. I'm Trevor DeGroat.
Now, just a reminder, all after-school sports and games were canceled on the Suncoast due to Hurricane Matthew today. And just ahead, keep watching. It's your Consumer Watch, so stick around. We'll be back right after this.
Hey everyone, welcome back and a happy Tuesday. So, looks like 60% chance of rain along the coast with winds still picking up due to Hurricane Matthew. Not tropical storm force, but still up there at 20 to 25 miles per hour. A bit rougher on the seas, very rough chop. Seas at 10 to 14 feet with winds gusting potentially to 40 knots.
Summer Infant is recalling about 86,000 infant bathtubs due to the risk of impact injury and drowning. The recall involves its Little Luxuries Whirlpool bubbling spa and shower with fabric slings. Summer Infant and the Consumer Product Safety Commission have received more than 90 reports of the slings detaching, including 11 reports of infants who received a bump to the head. The tubs were sold at Toys R Us, Babies R Us, and other juvenile product specialty stores nationwide from October 2012 through October 2013 for about $60. Consumers should stop using the fabric sling and contact Summer Infant for a replacement with a white plastic attachment clip. Finally, this half hour, yesterday was United Way's annual Day of Caring. 2,500 volunteers gave back to communities in 5 counties, including DeSoto, Manatee, and Sarasota. SNN's Nicole Somavilla has more on that.
24 years and thousands of community service projects. Volunteer Xavier Russell says United Way's Day of Caring is about making a difference.
Mobilize those volunteers to provide opportunities for agencies and different companies that may not be able to do some of the things that they need to get done.
Today, 80 companies partnered with United Way on 150 different projects. Publix employees working hard at Booker Middle School.
Clean up in the media center. They're also doing some things outside, as well as the community garden that's here on site.
Volunteers say the beautification will save Booker 2 months of work. And the United Way Resource Center in the school is always open to the community.
CNA training, we have computers, we have notary, and everything's absolutely free.
Born and raised in Sarasota, volunteer Leroy Butler says there's no better place to give back than his alma mater.
The best feeling in the world, and I do it for the community members and the children.
And also to show a presence in the community, to show that the community is really coming together.
Butler says it's one day of volunteer work, but the impact he leaves behind will live on.
There's no words that can really describe how it feels to really be involved in community impact in your own community, because it's something that's near and dear to my heart.
The United Way Resource Center will be offering financial coaching to parents and students in the near future. All right, well, of course, we've been talking about Matthew all morning. For us, we're looking pretty good. And then East Coast still crosshairs.
Yes, East Coast, I mean, I've been looking at the radar, and the eye wall's coming closer to Daytona now. And so what we're looking at is we're looking at the worst coming later. I mean, take a look at the winds picking up there. And especially, where is this from?
This is from Daytona.
There you go, and it's picking up. Eye wall's coming soon. We'll talk more about that after the break. Full forecast coming up within the next half hour.
Stay with us.